this is the first time that I'm actually truly, really worried. I am worried about where the Knicks are physically. And for the first time, because, we've all lauded their resilience and togetherness and adaptability and all that other stuff that you can't necessarily quantify. I don't know how much further that could take him here. I mean, OG's not playing tonight. I don't think he's playing on Sunday. And I think the Knicks are going to get smoked tonight. I think they're going to get their heads handed to them tonight. I think the Pacers destroy them. And all of a sudden, you have a different series, and I don't know when OG's coming back.
You think they're in trouble for the series or just for this game tonight?
I'm almost chalking up tonight as a loss.
Okay,
I am.
But what about the series?
Once, and if they lose tonight, I think that now begins to change the complexion of how I view the series. Do you think OG's playing Sunday?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
I think he's going to be out a significant amount of time. I felt that way since the injury, and then, these hamstrings are tricky. What do you think, he's going to come back in a couple of days? That would be a miracle. So, no, I got to be honest, though. I'm shocked. I am shocked that this is your feeling today. I thought for sure last night after the Celtics getting their asses kicked,
sweet,
that you would be coming in saying, you know what? The door is open a little bit, because if you start to think about it moving forward, and you're right, this Pacers series now may be more difficult. I still am actually confident in this Knicks team, thinking they're going to win in 5, because I just don't trust the Pacers. Now, losing OG is going to suck, of course, and we got to see if Brunson can keep it going. I have no reason to believe that he won't if he is healthy, and obviously if he's not healthy, all bets are off, but I still am not worried about the Pacers. Could that change after, if I watch the Pacers light the Knicks up tonight? Maybe, but I won't really be worried until it's 2-2. Even at 2-1, I still think the Knicks will find a way to make it 3-1, just like they did with Philly, and close it out here next week at home in Game 5. But if you look ahead, even without Anunoby, if it's the Cavs somehow sitting there, now I don't think that's going to happen, but just that's the feeling I got last night, where I was like, maybe things are aligning for the Knicks here. I thought for sure you'd be coming in today talking Eastern Conference Finals, talking championship, and now you're telling me you're worried about the Pacers.
I want to. And you know what's crazy, too? When I was obviously locked into the Rangers. We'll get to them in a little bit. Awesome job. Rangers look at me. That's just insane.
We want the cup, BT.
I know you do. You might get it. We'll get to the Rangers in a bit, I promise. We're definitely doing hockey today, no doubt. Rangers up 3-0, 7 straight playoff wins. Insane. But as I'm watching the Rangers, I'm obviously following the Celtics and the Cavaliers. And I had the exact opposite view, and I'm not a negative guy. I'll tell you why. Like last night, I don't want to say that it cemented a completely different feeling, because I love these Knicks. I love them. You guys know that. Right. And I've been with them all year, right? I'm not just jumping in now. I love what they've done, and I love their role players, and Brunson is the man. We all know this. And Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau and everything they've done, basically touching the gold here. But with the Cavaliers winning a game on the other team's court, now you go to Cleveland for a couple. Who knows? I still think very strongly Celtics are better, but now Cavaliers can maybe mess around and win. I did let my mind go to the next series for a second, and it worried me. You know why? How did the Knicks beat the Cavaliers last year? They pushed them around with their bigs. Mitchell Robinson's gone.
Yeah.
So even with something that happened somewhat favorably for the Knicks last night, because on paper you'd rather face the Cavs than the Celtics, just based on who the more powerful team is, even that didn't feel that good seeing that last night. Now, the one thing that does do, even if the Celtics wind up winning, which I think most of us believe that they will, it stretches that series out, theoretically gives the Knicks rest, but I think that the Knicks series is going 6 or 7. I don't think there's any chance this goes 5. I think there's a really good chance it goes 6. And I got to be honest with you. I'm starting to really believe that we're sitting there Game 7, sweating bullets, hoping that OG Anunoby's coming back and hoping that this magic doesn't end.
I think if it goes 7, the Knicks would be in trouble this series just because of what that would mean. For them to win a game in Indiana, and that's what they have to do, Brunson needs to play like a superstar, and they just have to have the guys that have been, like, you're going to miss Anunoby's production, no doubt about it. They do not win Game 2 without him. But Game 2, they also played a full quarter without Jalen Brunson. We don't anticipate that being the case. So as long as Brunson is healthy for the entire game, Hart keeps doing what he's doing, DiVincenzo doing what he's doing. Now, they might need McBride to step up a little bit. He's been non-impactful.
He's been pretty quiet last couple games.
They need him. They're not going to miss Mitch as much in this series. Forget about moving forward. Although, like you said, I think it was natural for Knick fan last night to see the Celtics getting spanked, maybe thinking for a second, even though you know better, maybe thinking for a second, is there a chance the Cavs could be there and clear the path to the NBA Finals? It is possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it is possible. I do think the Knicks can beat the Pacers without Anunoby. Beyond that, no, they're going to need him. But they are going to need, they can't have any slip-ups. You can't have DiVincenzo shooting 2 for 12. You can't have, Josh Hart not being effective the way that he's been consistently for the entire game. Those are things, though, that they've done, BT, and I just don't think the Pacers the Knicks have taken the Pacers' best punch. Now, you might get the Pacers' best punch and the ref's best punch tonight. That's something that's going to be tough to overcome. But if Brunson puts in another 40, I feel comfortable with the Knicks. I still think they're getting 1 and 2 here in Indiana.
877-337-6666. BT and Sal here on the Fan. I like the optimism, Sal. I truly do. I want to latch on to it. I'm not a negative person by nature, but I'm going to take it a step further because what you just said about OG. If OG Anunoby does not return in this series, the Knicks will not win the series. I hate that I feel that way, but I'm going to always tell you what I think and what I see and what I believe. If OG Anunoby does not return in this series, the New York Knicks will not advance past the Pacers. I hate that I said it. It's in my heart. I feel it. And by the way, the other night...
and do you think he's going to? Because I don't.
I don't. Listen, the thing that really worries me now, yesterday during the show, we'll get these calls. I see you guys jumping on. Everybody's hot. We'll get into it. Rangers coming up in a bit. Don't worry. Judge goes yard. That's starting to look good as well. He's starting to hit. We got a big day for you here on the show. But in victory the other night, as Brunson came back from halftime, and like the first 10, 12 points got the other guys involved, couple threes by DiVincenzo. Right. Anunoby had a free throw. Hart had a couple of buckets, and then Jalen Brunson took over. Even with all the heroics by Brunson late, if Anunoby doesn't put in basically 30 points, the Knicks get whacked.
He was hitting big three after big. He kept
28 points.
He was the guy. You're right. Without him, I know, but remember, Brunson was out an entire quarter. Maybe if he plays an entire game, without Brunson, certainly without Anunoby, without Brunson scoring 40, now they really have
there's no conversation to have at that point.
There is I agree. Nobody's going to debate that.
I agree with that now. I didn't agree with that early because remember, the Knicks won the first 2 games early.
Correct.
Philly didn't play well against Indiana. Yeah, I get it.
By the way, even then, Anunoby wasn't what he has become in recent games here, where he's taken. It took him. It took him midway through that Sixers series to start really having more of a scoring role, specifically, not just posting up and knocking down the threes. You saw that most evident in Game 2 against the Pacers. To your point. It's going to be difficult, much more difficult without him. But if Brunson plays like the superstar that he is, I still think the Knicks will be fine against the Pacers.
I hope you're right. I'm not feeling it right now. 877-337-6666. Eddie's in Great Neck. BT and Sal on the Fan. Eddie, what's happening?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Hello,
what's up, Eddie?
We are very excited. I always listen to you guys. I always try to get through. I'm really happy I did get through. Just wanted to discuss Brunson a little bit. Quick analogy, and we'll move on. Doesn't this guy, have you guys ever watched the movie 300?
3,000, the movie 3,000. The guy that
Mr. 3,000? Yeah. Bernie Mac?
No,
yes.
300,
that was good.
300, it was like the Romans versus, it was like the Greeks versus the Persians. But like this guy, look, Jalen Brunson is an absolute leader. And he just reminds me of, just someone that is just unbelievable, and he just doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Well, but Eddie, hold on a second. Eddie, hold on. Those are two different things. Now, we can't speak for the other people. We can't speak for dopes like Charles Barkley and his buddy Shaq and these clowns who always clown the Knicks. I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say. We know it. I know it. You know it. Sal knows it. Every Knicks fan knows. Every objective basketball analyzer, if you will, or viewer or consumer knows that Jalen Brunson is a flat-out superstar. We're not wasting time on that. My point today is, and I have been incredibly optimistic because I've never put a limit on this team based on their heart and their ability to just fight through the worst conditions. This is the first time I'm actually worried. And if OG doesn't come back, they're not going to win the series. There's a limit on how much you could push through.
I hear what you're saying, but look, there's maybe like 2 guys in the NBA. You have like your LeBron and maybe someone else that I'm forgetting. Yeah. But Brunson is that guy that you walk into battle with.
Okay.
And he is just so battle tested, and he just knows what to do.
Wait, I understand. So, Eddie, are you trying to say that even without OG Anunoby, that Jalen Brunson can elevate the Knicks to the conference finals?
Listen, it's
yes or no?
It's not. No, I 100% I do.
Okay. Okay.
Elevate that.
All right, man.
Now, my thing, and thank you for the call, Eddie.
Appreciate it, bud.
First of all, nobody in New York Nobody in New York has doubted Jalen Brunson.
Not
now,
one person.
You want to say that earlier this year, people were still questioning whether he could be the lead guy on a championship team?
Yep.
Maybe that was a part of conversation from some people, but that went away quickly when Brunson showed that he was an MVP in this league. Nobody here, nationally, maybe they disrespect, nobody in New York would ever disrespect or appreciate Jalen Brunson. My reasoning for not being worried about the Knicks against the Pacers is less even about Brunson, although obviously without him, I said yesterday, without him, I don't think they have anything, especially now when you talk about Anunoby going down. But I think it's more about the Pacers, BT. The combination of Brunson and the way the Knicks have played, like DiVincenzo, we talked about it. This could be a better matchup for him this series than it was against Philadelphia. So he's been more consistent through the first two games. Exactly, and I expect that to continue. Maybe he'll have a bad game, and that's the game that the Knicks lose, but I still feel confident more about the Knicks versus the Pacers as opposed to one individual. That's why I'm a little surprised to hear you say even without Anunoby, you think the Knicks are going to lose, or without Anunoby, you think the Knicks are going to lose this series.
Well, the other thing I want to see is are we sure that Jalen Brunson's foot is okay? He's questionable. Now, he's going to play tonight. There's no doubt he's going to play. Unless they're just playing that, that medical possum game, which, by the way, at this point, why would you? Oh, the Pacers.
Well, they could have played it with Anunoby.
Yeah, they could have, but think about this. So and I know sometimes you do this on the injury report. You just keep the other team guessing, spend more time preparing for quarterback X or, wide receiver Y. It's Jalen Brunson, dude. I mean, if he plays, everybody knows what he's bringing to the table. If he doesn't, we all know that they're dead.
Right.
So, what's the value? Why are you even messing around with that? He's playing, but is he still Jalen Brunson? Eli is in Brooklyn with BT and Sal. Eli, what's happening, man?
Yeah, hey, guys. Big fan. I just want to, usually I agree with everything. Just after hearing today and yesterday, maybe I'm just optimistic, but I think, and we're in New York radio, but I think this Knicks, we should talk about them as I think they proved that they could be a winner, especially with the East being a little weak. I think the Celtics' record is better than they are. I don't think they're as good. This is before they lost last night. And I know the OG news is not best, but I think we should, they showed they could win big games in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but hold on, Eli. They have not shown the ability to win without OG Anunoby. When OG was out, they weren't playing well. And guess what? They played the Pacers minus OG, and they didn't play well against them. The Pacers, at the Knicks' best, are going to score 125 points. Without OG, where's the offense coming from?
Right, but let's see. But we never saw it yet. Right now, all I see is the two Knicks games where, you could argue the Pacers were playing better, and that's what a good team does. They battle, and I really thought they were going to flop in game 1 and 2, and they really did. So maybe we should give them a little bit more.
But Eli, here's the thing. We are giving the Knicks plenty of credit. However, at some point, and for the record, I'm still confident, although when you do it mathematically like that, BT, you're right. And that's part of my issue with this Knicks depth outside of Brunson is where is the scoring coming from? Anunoby has stepped it up. Anunoby is now out. At some point, it's going to be too much water to take on. Luckily for the Knicks, they have a 2-game lead, and I really don't think the Pacers are that good. Maybe the Knicks they're going to have to play better defense, and maybe they hold the Pacers to under 110 points, and maybe that's the recipe. Maybe they hold them. I know, especially in their building, going to be tough. Brunson's going to have to score 40, maybe even more without Anunoby. But I still do believe in this team. Maybe I'm wrong overlooking how good the Pacers could be just based on watching this or how important Anunoby is. I've always felt Randall is more important. You've always felt BT. Anunoby is more important. Yes. Unfortunately, both those guys are now out. This is not a knock on the Knicks.
Nope.
You give them credit, but there is going to be an expiration on how far they could go.
I think even if OG was playing tonight, I would still expect the Knicks to lose this game. That's not anti-Knicks. But that's just the reality of the Pacers. I do believe that they're soft. I've said that they do not have the heart, tenacity, soul, toughness, connectivity, and all those other words you want to throw out to describe who the New York Knicks are. They don't have that. But what they have is firepower. And what I think they're going to find, and I thought they'd have this in game 2. Thankfully, they did not. What I think they're going to have in game 3 is a friendly whistle. So, friendly whistle, desperate team, no OG. How the hell are they winning tonight?
I know. Well, I know. Like I said, I did make the argument, even with OG Anunoby, at some point it's going to become difficult. We've seen that with this team. They've won, yes, but scoring points can be a challenge. Without your second and third best player, whether you think Randall's a good fit or not, you're still taking away now Anunoby as well, and even Bogdanovich for that matter off the bench.
No doubt.
If he were there, you could say, all right, well, you know what?
18 points from him.
Well, he'll step up.
Yep.
He's going to get more minutes. He could post up and knock down threes like Anunoby. He's not going to do the other stuff, but he's at least a scoring option off the bench.
I mean, not only did OG drop at the 28 points, so you're taking that away, you're taking away the best defender against the team that all they do is put the ball in the hole. What was the stat that I saw game one? I don't know, maybe I'm off, but it was like 19 times. They scored 70 points and a half this regular season during the regular season. So they can fill it up, and now the Knicks are losing the guy that usually stops everybody. This is a problem tonight. 8-7, and it might be a problem, sadly, the rest of the series if OG does not come. If they don't come back, if he doesn't come back, they're not winning. They're not winning the series if he can't come back. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends of Town Fair reminds you that you always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. South Jersey. Adam, BT and Sal. Adam, what's cooking, buddy?
What's up, guys? My favorite show on the planet, as always.
Nice.
Adam.
BT, you're scratching me, BT. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that you said. You use this term, and you use it with the wrong team. This is the unkillable team. This is them. They have faced more adversity than anybody. They've had more injuries than anybody. What they do? Keep winning. Keep pushing. You know what? They might lose tonight. It's possible. Indiana's due to get one. But I'll tell you what's not happening, BT. They're not losing this series. And you already just said yourself why. Because Indiana is soft. They are soft. So Precious is going to play tonight, and Precious's numbers when he started over the term of time while OG was out was a solid 15 and 10. Guess what you're going to get from Precious tonight? You're going to get 15 and 10. He's a good defender, yes. OG's a great defender. Precious isn't far behind him on that. He can do things in the middle. Listen, man, I have no worries with this team as long as Brunson's playing against Indiana.
So, Adam, let me ask you this here. First of all, and you might get 15 from Precious. I was the one pumping him up. I was going through the game log just for those maybe who didn't really remember during the regular season. And when everybody went down, he played, I want to say 20 games or 30 games over 25 minutes. He played a bunch of games where he played like 35, 40 minutes, and he averaged 12 and a half points, 11 rebounds, and 2.5 steals in February. Trust me, I've been singing the praises of Precious Achiuwa. But even if he does score 15 tonight, that's 13 fewer than OG scored the other night. And they still barely won.
But that's only the other night.
Yeah.
That's only the other night. OG has only been averaging about 15 a game in playoffs.
Yeah.
And game one, OG didn't put up 28, and the Knicks came away with it. This is the unkillable team, man.
Yeah, I love that.
That's than anybody.
Yeah.
BT, they fight. They fight no matter what. JB's the man. He's the leader. He will not let this team crumble. And even if Indiana wins the game tonight, they ain't blowing nobody out. Take that thought out of your head, brother. It's not happening.
It's a great,
they are going to be
killable. It's a great. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to get pumped up now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Woo! I love it.
But I'm not changing my tune.
I love it.
But I'm not changing my tune.
I get it.
Not for tonight. I mean,
when we come back, I want to do the math and what you think the magic number would be for the Knicks to get the total points to win one of these games in Indiana.
I could do that. You know, maybe on a lot of levels, I would like to take my own advice. And yeah, I did deliver that speech, that craziness to the wrong team. The Knicks should have had that, not the Jets. And I'm not walking around work like a loser. I can promise you that. I'm not. I am just giving you an unfortunate dose of reality tonight. Now, I don't know what the reality means definitively moving forward because I don't know OG's status moving forward. But I do not think they win tonight. No OG. And if OG does not get back to the series, I do not think they advance. And that's just how I feel. And it stinks. And I hope I'm wrong. That's what I feel.